All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our special sneak peek at the VectorVest's Tampa 2-day investment seminar. Hope everybody is doing well today. Obviously, the markets are in a little bit of a turbulent patch here as of late, but hopefully that hasn't got you down. You're excited about what the new year might bring for us next year. And I always know it's getting ready to be the next year when we start talking about Tampa. So I'm just glad to be your host today. You know, it's good to get Thanksgiving behind us. Hopefully everybody had a good time with friends and family. And again, it's time to start gearing up for hopefully a good year ahead. So let's get right into it. Start talking about that. Now, before I go any further, though, I do want to throw out there, we will have a very special price at the end of the webcast today for those that have taken time out of their busy schedules to be with us here. So that's always something to look forward to. Okay, so let's get to it. Well, at the end of the day, you know, what do we all want? That's right, financial freedom, right? In order to make that a reality, though, what we're going to need to accomplish in the stock market is be able to get consistent gains. And that can certainly be challenging if you don't have the right education to make that a reality. And so what we need to learn to be able to do is to build and manage a portfolio that makes more money month after month after month, year after year after year, and one that outperforms the market. You know, that's going to be a very critical part of the of what we're going to teach in this course. Not only do we want to make consistent gains, we want to outperform the market, right? Or else you just go about buying the S&P and call it a day. But there's a problem. There's a problem, and that's really knowing the difference, I think, for a lot of folks in terms of knowing the difference between data and useful information. And so that's one of the things that we pride ourselves in this two-day event is get rid of information overload. If you're not careful, you can simply get drowned in a bunch of data. It's certainly being thrown at you at breakneck speed these days with the advent of portable devices and electronic internet connectivity and everything. I mean, we're just swimming in data. And so if we're not careful, we lose sight on what the most critical and useful information really is. And so that's what's so great about this two-day event is that we really make that a priority in showing you exactly what the useful information truly is so that you can make better decisions. And that's where VectorVest really shines. I mean, it really does. Some folks are saying we're having a quick test. All right. Can you hear me now? Test. Am I coming through on GoToWebinar now, guys? Just let me know in the chat. Looks like I am. I just want to make sure. Bob or Jim, can you guys hear me now? All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and proceed ahead. I'm not hearing any responses from those folks that were having issues. So let's continue on with the rest of the presentation here. So, the big problem, again, was getting buried by data, right? And we need to make that separation from what is just purely data and what's useful information. And that's really what this two-day event is packed full of, is helping you make those determinations and making it quite simple to do. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about what all is in the VectorVest two-day event here in just a minute. But before we get into that, just to kind of get the conversation going here a bit, what's been the most difficult part of investing for you guys over the years? Sometimes this can help me kind of gear the presentation a bit towards the particular audience at hand and just kind of gets you thinking about what some of the sore spots are and how we can improve on that for you. So I'll give you just a minute or so to put that in. Should be fine now. Are you guys still having audio issues? Can you guys hear me now? Well, it looks like a lot of the responses in there are geared around selling. And, obviously that's the most critical part. I mean, that's where the rubber meets the road. That's always been the biggest challenge is, knowing when to either cut losses early or, you know, uh, really stave off any big trouble spots in your portfolio. And so we'll certainly be dealing with that in great detail. But in reality, what really is the big mistake out there, the mistake that can really trip a lot of folks up, is not having a plan. That's the number one critical mistake, is not having a plan. You might have gotten away from that a bit in 2020, where it seemed like just any old stock you picked would, just run up the page for you after you bought it. But it's not going to be that simple anymore. We're not at a major buying opportunity of a lifetime at this point. Markets are high. And as a result of that, we can see how they've turned over and turned a bit nasty here as of late. And in reality, the market's probably a little overdue for a correction. And we're still not to those corrective levels, even after this last week and a half of pretty ugly market activity. And so what we need is a plan that can help us profit in those best of times, but also keep us out of trouble when the markets, start to slide and really head the other direction on us. So we're going to be covering that in several ways. And the good news is that it doesn't have to be complicated. The plans can actually be quite simple. And that's really nice, because then the fix is fairly easy, right? So we're going to start talking about the fix right now. And the fix is to have a simple, proven plan and stick to it. Okay, so what we're going to need to do is use the right tools for the job. I mean, that's going to be the most critical part, is having those tools at hand that can get the job done. Okay. So good news here on this front. We are going to have a team like I've never seen before at this event. It's truly going to be worldwide. We're going to have all of our international directors on hand to do presentations. We're also going to have a big group here just from home office making the trip down to Tampa, which is also going to be terrific. So we're going to have Dr. David Paul. He's actually flying to the event and will be there in person. But we'll also have Susan Hayes, Stan Heller, Russell Markham from all the other international sides of the business there. We'll also have on hand at the event, we'll have Glenn Tompkins, our internet sensation, is big on YouTube these days. We'll have Jim Penna, who heads up the retirement services division of VectorVest. We'll have Jerry D'Ambrosio, who heads up the trading side of the business, along with Ron Wheeler, who covers the options, and myself. Okay, so big team, and it should really come off well, because you get a lot of different personalities, and at the end of the day, you get a lot of great information and insight into the tool and how to use the system from all of these different angles. And what we're going to do, though, is we're going to wrap it up into a nice 2-day event, and it's going to come at you in sections. I think we've really laid this 2-day out the best that I've seen so far. We've been doing the Tampa 2-day now, I think. Well, it's got to be more than 20 years, because the first one that I did was 20 years ago, this coming January. So we've been going there ever since I started working here at VectorVest, and I know a couple of years, I think, even prior to that. So more than 20 years now. This one is going to be January 7th and 8th, 2022. It is going to be at the Tampa Airport Marriott for those that want to attend live. It's super easy to get in and out of this venue if you're traveling by air. We do realize that, COVID situation's kind of resurging here a little bit, so we're still going to try to pull this event off live. We are going to be taking some precautions at the live event just to try to keep people spaced out as best we can, that kind of thing. So the live attendance is going to be limited, and we always sell out, even when we were going full boat in terms of attendance possible at the event. I can tell you this, there's only about 12 spots or so left to attend live. Okay, so if you're somebody that's going to want to attend live, you're going to want to get that done today and as soon as possible, because I think the live part will sell out today. I'd be surprised if it didn't. It will also be live streamed, though, so you'll have all the same presentations. You'll get all the same curriculum as the people that are attending live. The only main difference there is, of course, you can't spend any individual time with the instructors or mingle with other VectorVest subscribers that have been using VectorVest for decades, that kind of thing. You miss out on kind of that side of it, but you'll get everything else. You get every single presentation that we do, and everything is going to be recorded. So whether you attend live or you attend via the live stream, you'll have access to all of the presentations for a full year after the event is done. Which is terrific, because at the end of the day, you're going to get a lot of information here, and you're going to have time then to kind of review things. You might say, I remember when Steve talked about this particular subject, and you can go find that, in the recordings and have access to it. So I think that's a very nice thing that we do for people that attend. Now, that's whether you're live or live streamed. Everybody will have access to those recordings. Want to make that clear. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the 2 days. Obviously this webcast is not about showing you methodology. It's about discussing for you what the methodologies are that are going to be shown at the event. So I'm not going to be doing a lot of teaching here. That hurts me to the depths of my soul like you wouldn't believe. But more so, my main interest now is getting you to this flagship event, because I know if we can get you there, you're going to get the training that you need in just these 2 days. You would literally need no further training at all, in my opinion. Some folks are going to want some coaching and things, and of course we've got solution for that as well. But I truly believe there will be people that attend this 2-day event that walk out of there and have every tool in the tool belt they need to get things done. Okay, so let's talk about the 2 days. Day one, morning. Obviously, for folks that are attending live, we will have some breakfast. 9 a.m. start. That's 9 a.m. East Coast time, so New York City time for anybody that might be from overseas. That might help you in terms of time. 9 a.m. start, and we will run through lunch here in this first segment, which is really going to be dealing with what we call the successful investor. The way that I would describe that to you is this is grassroots VectorVest. I mean, this is by and large why VectorVest is in business today. We're going to be talking about how to analyze stocks, and we believe we've got the best system in place for analyzing a stock, knowing what it's really worth, how safe it is, and when to buy, sell, or hold like nobody else. So we're going to spend a lot of time detailing that for you, really digging into our proprietary indicators for relative value, relative safety, relative timing, and making sure you really understand things so that when you just look at a list of stocks, you'll be able to quickly decipher which are the stocks that I want to be more serious about buying, and which are the stocks to stay away from. Which are the stocks I want to continue to hold and make money with in the stock market, and where's my sore spots, the ones that I need to cut loose and get some new blood in. So we call that process weeding the garden. We'll be talking about that, how to heal a broken portfolio, and get things fixed up. We're going to spend a good deal of time on timing the market. Remember, at VectorVest, we don't predict market action. We simply respond to what the market is doing. And we do that in a variety of mechanical ways, ranging from aggressive to more conservative in nature, so that you can pick one that's going to best work for you in your particular situation. So, if you're young, or if you've got some money that you want to really start swinging aggressively into the stock market, we've got a solution for that. However, if your main interest is in preservation of capital, as being paramount, the most important aspect, we have timing that's geared just for that, And so we'll do a good job at laying out what the signals are, how they come about, how they work, and then which is going to be kind of geared best for you as an individual. Then we'll kind of take all that information, wrap it up into the successful investor approach, and you will see there that when you do this correctly, you can do quite well in the stock market. This is a look at the coaching group that we have for Successful Investor, and it's live trades that they've done for this calendar year. So from January to where we are now. And at the time that we took this, which is just I think a couple weeks ago, we're up about 15% on the year. And this is a situation where you can get that kind of return on a year in, year out basis, actually. So, I mean, I realize a lot of folks are still kind of living high on the hog from buying some stocks that went up hundreds of percent potentially last year, but that's a rarity. Those kinds of situations only occur usually maybe a couple of times in a lifetime. I've been pretty fortunate in that regard, because I think you got to look back to kind of let's start 2003, as kind of the major prior bottom to this one. Then you had 1987, and then you go back to the 30s. So this was another great one here, but don't miss I don't want to get too far off track here and mix up the message. The message is you can get a very simple, basic approach. You can get 15-20% a year, pretty much every year, year in and year out, if you follow the methodologies that we teach in that first morning. Okay. Afternoon of day 2, we're going to be talking primarily about retirement services, and retirement services is going to teach an even more complete approach to that. We're still going to be dealing with round about the same kinds of stocks at the end of the day, high relative safety stocks, but we're going to be honing a complete system around it where you're also going to be coupling in dividend income. So you get that same capital appreciation, but you'll also get dividend income coming in along with options income coming in. And so it can really supercharge that, and you can do even better. You'll see at the 3:15 time slot there, we'll also cover situational investing. That's my baby there. We cover that every year. And that hones in on what types of approaches you want to deploy based upon what the market is doing. So situational investing is all about recognizing what the market is doing and implementing tactics that are consistent with the current market behavior that you observe. Okay. And so there's a time to go bottom fishing, there's a time to go high momentum, and then there's a time to start playing things a lot more conservatively. And then that's a repetitive cycle. Okay, that occurs usually a couple of times throughout every calendar year. And so we'll be detailing that approach to the markets as well. And that is near and dear to my heart, but I would say is one not to miss. However, how to build and manage a retirement portfolio is truly also one of the very best highlights from the show. So very good afternoon here on day 1. We will have a cocktail reception for those that are at the event. This is great because this is a lot of time that you can mingle with other people that are there, including the instructors, and get a little bit of one-on-one time and that kind of thing. At 5 o'clock, we'll do a special presentation. This will be Dr. David Paul, and he's going to do a complete approach to short-term swing trading. And I know already without having even seen his slides yet, that he's got some good things cooked up for you there. This is a look at just the underlying stocks for one of Jim's portfolios that he helps show in detail in his coaching programs. And here again, you can see that with just the underlying stocks, you're in good safe stead here. You've got the likes, if you look at the bottom, you've got NVIDIA, Wire, LPX, Micron, ANAT. And of course, those are all very, very strong stocks down there. All right, so Tampa, day 2 in the morning, we make a major transition, I would say, here. Here we're going to be detailing swing trading tactics. You're going to see several different approaches, and the one that I think is going to be, certainly new, something that we haven't discussed before, and also, I think, riveting in the potential that it's going to illustrate is that 10:50 a.m. time slot, where we talk about finding hot stocks for explosive profits. There is hopefully people are watching the daily color guard reports. And if you are, you see that we talk about here's the 10 hot stocks for today, or here's the 5 best for the week, that kind of thing. We've got a systematic approach to using those that has done about 180% in the last 17 months. So we're super excited to detail that one to everyone. Also in the morning, you have using moving averages along with some volume analysis for picking big winners there. At the 11:30 time slot, the last one before lunch, Ron Wheeler's going to come up and show how you can really leverage on these swing trades by using options. And so that's going to be a highlight, I know, for some. This is a look at that hot stocks portfolio. You can see some rather big jumps in there from time to time, but you also see some pretty good consistency. And again, we're enamored with it, and we think you folks are really going to enjoy that. This is another look at, I'm showing the coaching groups here because for every methodology, there is a coaching group that can give you some continued education after you leave the event, if you so choose to do that, okay? But these are all live. When we get to these slides, these are all live trades. These are trades that actually cleared through brokerages. Okay, and so this is using swing trading picks from the same kind of content that you're going to see at the show. All right, so the final leg, second day, afternoon, day 2, we have a simple approach to trading for income, along with practical application for your investment style. So that first one there is also by Ron Wheeler. He's going to supercharge things a little bit more for the option income investors that are out there. So I think he's going to be showing another new approach to that, is my current understanding. And then what we do in that last presentation is take all of what you've learned and say, okay, help you identify who you are, and then how do you proceed Monday after the event is over. That following Monday, what's my roadmap? What's my game plan? So that's the 2 days. And so as you can see, we're going to detail really 3 main approaches. We're also going to introduce options as a way to produce both added income along with leverage to make these even better if you decide you're willing to go that route. And then we'll also give you your game plan before you leave. In some situations, some of you may want to go multiple directions. I run 3 portfolios for myself as an example of that. I've got an options portfolio, my 401k, and another stock portfolio, and each of them are run a little bit differently, of course. 401k is predominantly just high relative safety stocks that I just want to hold on to for the long term. The stock trading, we do a little bit of riding the wave back and forth, and then options just to supercharge some extra profits there. So you might end up doing a little piece of all of it. But my main thing would be start with one, make sure you've got that mastered, before you move on to the next one. And so we'll help you pick where to start. So at this point, I reckon we've got a choice, and that choice is you can continue to try to get out there, slog around and do it on your own, or you can go to Tampa or attend virtually from the comfort of your own home and try to do it a lot faster. I can promise you, you will. One of the things that our founder, Dr. Bart DeLito, has said on many occasions is that once you leave this event, you really get about 10 years of education from attending here. It really is. I mean, in terms of value for money, this is the #1 event. You're going to see the price here in a little bit. And it is astonishing what kind of value you walk out of this 2-day event with for the price that you pay. We realize if we train you guys and get you educated right, you're going to be subscribers for years. And that's how our model works. We don't hit you with $5,000 up front, know that we already got you, and then don't give you any useful information to work with. We work the other approach, which is low barrier of entry. Make sure you train them up so that they stay forever. That's that's how we like to do it. And there is no such thing as you can't do anything, really. You'd be surprised what you can do if you put your mind to it. You got to want to. And so that's the only place that I can't help folks out with, is with the want to. You got to want to for yourself. I can't make you want to do anything. So if you want to come, if you want to learn, we can make that a reality. It will happen. But you got to want to do it. So old statement from a man that I've always had a lot of respect for, Abraham Lincoln. And so I've used this as kind of a guiding light over the years for my own personal, sanity at this point. But if I had 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. In other words, if you want to get it done and get it done right, you got to put in the time to do it the right way. And so whether it's athletics or investing or whatever, that's words to live by. If you want to do something, you got to get it done right, and you got to put in a little bit of time to make sure that you can get it done right. Okay. So we have a special offer. the offer price has gone up. If anybody is in this room this week, and you were also in this room last week, you know there's now a $100 price difference. We've gone from 95 to 195. I told everybody last week that there will be people that will end up paying the full $495 before it's all done. Do not let that be you. We've already gone from 95 to 195. No, the $95 price point is no longer available. Period. Exclamation point. It's now 195. And if you wait any longer, before you know it, it's going to be 295. And if you wait any longer than that, before you know it, it's going to be 495. And we will have more than a dozen people that will end up paying $495. You know, maybe a few dozen people. Seems like some years. As much as I get on here and try to pry, try to get you in cheap as I can, you'll end up paying full boat. Don't do that. Don't do that. So if you let the $95 slip away, now's the time to lock in the $195. If I have to talk to you again, it's going to be higher than this. Okay. All right. So there's two websites to go to. I'm going to make sure I'm going to put those out into the chat right now. Again, spots are very limited for the in-person. I'm going to put that one out first. And if you think that you're going to want to go live, my suggestion to you would be to get that order in today. And I can't make any promises. The earlier, the better. Okay. I mean that when I say it. I think there's about 12 spots left, period. So I'm going to put that one. Oops. I typed the link wrong, of course. Let me just type this in one more time. We'll send that out. For those of you that are on YouTube, I can't send you the link, but if you're on YouTube, my guess is you're pretty savvy with internet browsers. You're just going to type in VectorVest.com/Tampa, okay, for live. And for the live stream, in other words, if you're somewhere in Europe, but if you have travel difficulties, can't get there, whatever the case may be, if you want to attend virtually, this will be the link. So I'll type that one in for you guys now. Stream. And let me just double check these links, make sure they're working for you guys. Looks like Tampa Stream is working fine. Let me just check Tampa. I don't want anybody to have to miss out on my mistake anyway. Yep, everything's coming across fine. So this is the in-person event. Now, when you click on one of those links, one of the ways to know which one you've just clicked on is, of course, you could read the whole page, but very quickly in the top left corner of the big image, you'll see where in this one it says in person. So that's the first link, Tampa. That'll take you to an in-person page. The other one will take you to a page that says live stream. Okay, live stream in the top left corner there. And in either case, you can purchase the course out there to the right. For this price, for the $195 price tag, you have 5 days, 11 hours, 30 minutes, and 12 seconds. Okay. The agenda is also included, so if people have questions about, I know we broke it down in the webcast, but if you have questions or want to go back and look and see exactly what those talk titles are, you have the ability to do that. On the description page, there is a little bit further, kind of description of most of the things we covered in here, and also some added insights there as well. There's some special things we'll be doing at the event, $100 voucher, things like that we didn't even cover here. So there's some good information on this web page here as well. So at this point, I'm just going to open it up to questions. On YouTube, I can't see the questions, so thank you very much for attending. You're free to hang out, see what questions might be asked, if any, and we'll go from there. Okay, so remember, just go to www.vectorvest.com, either /Tampa for live stream, for live in person, or vectorvest.com/Tampa stream for the live stream edition. Okay. All right, let's see. Never heard a word. Interesting. Well, I tried to fix the audio. Looks like people on GoToWebinar had an issue. So guys on YouTube, since I can't see the questions, I'm going to have to go ahead and cut her. And hopefully you get signed up. We'll see you there in Tampa. I can't wait. It should be awesome. Be a blast. We'll see you then. Got to go.